A Twist in Time, Chapter 38, Queen of Stars. Darling, do not be so hard on our daughter. She tried her best to get Shira. You mustn't underestimate my dear Astra. Queen Star glares at her husband, putting a gloved finger on his chest. Woman, do you mind? I am trying to stop this ridiculous rebellion. I do not need you yapping in my ear like some sort of animal. Prime sighs, turning to the screen away from the very mother and woman he kidnapped years prior. From the Kingdom of Shadows, Crescent Moon, the sister kingdom of Half Moon. Unlike Half Moon's bright and upbeat appearance, Crescent Moon was dark and stormy most days, constantly flooding with nonstop rain and thunderstorms. The Magicats from this land were dark in appearance, with coats of black, dark brown, and gray. In her fellow queen's absence, Queen Elena had taken in the refugees of her sister kingdom. You see, Star and Elena had grown up together, and due to Star's abduction, her kingdom had crumbled. Star was the first to be chipped, and all those years of being in space had slowed her aging process dramatically. Star wasn't aware that Elena had been murdered in cold blood. Her chip wasn't the strongest. It was a prototype of the much newer ones her husband currently used. Even though Star had every opportunity to escape her husband, she stuck to his side, as he had given her Astra. Like any mother, she was extremely protective of her kitten. However, what she tried to keep from her husband was that she had attempted several times to break free of the prototype, especially since she was a young teen when she was taken. The last memory she had was Elena running after her, screaming, tears flowing. The last words Elena said to her best friend were something on the lines of this. Star's memory was fuzzy. I will find a way to save you, young Star screams before saying, You promise? I will be waiting even if it takes years. Elena nods, falling to the ground sobbing as Star vanished. And with that, Star was gone forever. Years go by, but Elena never lost hope Star would return to Etheria. Star waited all these years for her best friend to rescue her. She had fallen pregnant with Astra during this long wait, though she resented her husband, but she loved her Astra so. What do you want, mother? Come to scoff at me, just as father has done? Astra wipes tears from her eyes. She only longed for her father's approval, but instead he treated her like one of his experiments. No, my sweet Astral kitten. You are the bright stars in the void of the universe. I have come to comfort you. Star stands awkwardly in her daughter's doorway. Is that so? Well then, mother, I wish to be alone. Astra puts her face in her pillow to cover her tear-filled eyes. I have come to tell you we are getting out of here. We will leave when your father is asleep. We are going home. Star says just above a whisper, so only her daughter can hear. What are you talking about, mother? We are home. Astra lifts her head to look her mother in the eye. You might have been born on this ship, but it is more of a prison than a place to call home, my child. I am of the world known as Etheria. Your father, he is not a good man. Star places her hand gently on her daughter's cheek. Well, duh, mother. You don't think I know this? I'm 17. Astra groans, her eyes flashing from green to their true pigment of yellow-green. I am aware of your age, Astra, seeing as I carried you for months in my womb. However, I only stayed with your monster of a father to protect you. But it is time this stops. Queen Star narrows her eyes as her eyes flash to blue, the protochip losing its grip on the former queen. Can I please just have my Mirayankanna? Mother, it is all I ask of you. Astra looks at her mother with hope. We will talk to her mother, alright? I have someone I wish for you to meet when we get back to Etheria. Her mother smiles, thinking about her dearest best friend and fellow queen, Elena. Late into the night, Star and her daughter sneak aboard Astra's nearly silent spacecraft, made especially for ambush, before fleeing the Horde mothership. The following morning, Prime calls for his wife and child, but neither are to be found. Prime grows angrier as his wife, now his daughter, have fled. He roars in anger as the chips he had placed on them had gone offline. Meanwhile, back aboard Astra's small flagship, she and her mother go in search of the first one's spaceship. Astra steers the craft as she tries to send a signal to Adora and the remaining rebels. Astra tries to send the signal for the rebel craft deep in the void of outer space. The muffled signal does indeed reach Darla, as the rebels receive an incoming call.
Incoming voice signal. Do you wish to listen to it, Administrator?
Yes, play it, Darla. Adora looks at the electronic orb on the ship's dashboard. Astra's muffled, nearly unrecognizable voice comes through the ship's intercom. Adora, we don't know if we can trust it. Just think. Glimmer protests as Adora turns the ship around. Look, I don't know, but Shira is meant to help people, even if they were on the wrong side of the war. Chipped people aren't at fault for their actions. Interrupta, any luck trying to extract Catra's or Miaraya's chips? Adora looks at the geek princess, who nods quietly. Shira was coming to save the Queen of the Stars. Astra only wanted to see her Miarayankanna, but for real this time. Miaraya's eyes flutter open as the Princess of Flame springs back to life. Her nose hurt, as did her back, but she dare not move a muscle. As her mother sleeps, snoring softly, her daughter firmly in her grasp. Star would be in for the shock of a lifetime when she finds out the tragic death of her kittenhood companion, Elena. Tension is in the air, surely.